All right. Excited. It's your girl, Aisha. Let me put up here Bossy Chat with the amazing Desiree. So I am such a fan of this woman that I might over fangirl. So please don't be upset. But I think that she deserves all the fangirling in the world because she's amazing. And she's built in such a short period of time. She's built such an amazing brand. Okay, pin the comment. Hi. It's your girl, Aisha, founder and CEO of Bossy Cosmetics. Always excited to come to you with our monthly Bossy Chats. Hi, she's here. Hello. Let's wait for folks to join us, but super excited to talk about this amazing woman, her amazing business, her amazing brand, and she had amazing products, or amazing actually she could not keep on the shelves, and now she has a second one, which is looking like it's going to replicate. So I am so excited to talk to her.
Hey!
Okay, can you hear me, first of all?
I can, yeah, I can hear you. I'm just going to make sure my volume is good. Am I good? Because I didn't put in my earpods.
Perfectly.
Okay, we're good. Awesome.
Okay. I was just saying before you came on that I always do like a little spiel before, but I was saying this one is going to be super amazing because it's going to be a fangirl moment, and I hope people don't get upset. But
oh gosh, be back and forth.
We're going to get to the meat of this discussion, but I just want to say, you know, we do these monthly conversations. We've been doing them since the pandemic started. And we talk to, our goal is to just really talk to amazing women in business and talk about their successes, their failures, their challenges. And we don't only talk to, we don't only talk to entrepreneurs. We speak to women across every type of work.
That's cool.
But you, Desiree, like, let's talk about hyper skin. Okay. And I want to talk about a little bit of a monologue because I think I reached out to you either a year and a half or two ago.
Yeah, you did. We had a great connection.
Yes, awesome. I was like, okay, she's a big girl, but let me see if she responds. And you responded immediately, kind of chatted, and we totally bonded. And I just have to say, like, I'll let you do your own intro, but as someone who's in the beauty industry, a founder, and also a shopper of your product, you have built something phenomenal.
Thank you.
Everyone wants to build a cult. And I just want you to talk a little bit about how you've done it. Like, you started with only one product, and you literally, I think last week, launched back. So take us from, I've done the fangirl. I think you are amazing. You have done what I don't know any other founder has done and is doing. Kudos to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enough from me, because people want to hear from you, not me.
Yeah.
So do your intro.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Desiree. I'm the founder of Hyper Skin. Hyper is a 2-year-old, hyper-targeted, modern clinical skincare line. And we really center the needs and the celebration of people of color. And we launched with our hyperpigmentation treatment products, our Hyper Even Dark Spot Serum. I'd say is a cult favorite, a fan favorite. And we just launched our Fade and Glow AHA mask last week. So it feels really good and exciting to be putting other, products that you've been thinking about and laboring over into the world. So that's who I am if you don't know me. And I'm excited to chat about the journey of Hyper because I think right now social media makes like this whole entrepreneurial journey seems so like quick and easy, and like that's what you see spotlighted. So I love these conversations where you get to like get into the nitty gritty of like what it really takes and what your day really looks like and what the challenges really are. So ask me anything. I'm an open book, and really love, like, we connected. It was peak pandemic. I can't recall when, but it was peak pandemic. We were definitely home. I mean, I'm still in a sweatshirt today, but home, like sweatshirt, kids running around in the background kind of thing. And I always love that because I feel like the founder to founder chat, like nothing tops that, because you really can talk about like the things that really keep you up at night and, the challenges. And there's always so much like in common. So love this kind of chat. Happy to like, share the full journey.
Absolutely.
In 30 minutes.
All right, 30 minutes. We're going to go really quick. So, first first of all, I mean, we've already talked about the fact that you have built something successful, but how did Hyperskin become, and what did you do before this? Like, what led you to starting this company? That's the first question.
Sure. Yeah. So I've lived a couple of lives. I was a lawyer in a past life, and I've always like had acne prone skin. I've always been obsessed with skincare and really excited by beauty. I think in 2015, I switched gears from law and opened a beauty boutique in New York City. That was my first business, my first venture in the beauty realm. And at that time, like 2015, like if you can remember, that's when like the natural hair care industry was exploding. There were, you know, a sprinkling of new like cosmetics lines that were catering to skin, like people of color and like and shades that were beautiful for us and etc. So it was sort of around that time, and I was like, I just think this is really exciting, this like indie beauty industry. And I think when people were talking about indie beauty at the time, they were like, you know, the like green, whatever that is, clean. And I was like, no, I'm just like really excited for like the brands that like Black folks, especially Black women, are creating. And so my boutique basically was a curation of that. And it existed for a few years. And in that space, I just like talked to people, like the dopest. I mean, just imagine like this gorgeous boutique in the heart. It was in Harlem. And so my customers were amazing.
Opportunity to do focus groups, like
yeah, I mean, I wasn't
meet people and study the industry and understand pain points.
exactly. I, you know, didn't consider it focus grouping then, but I realized I was just gaining so many insights about the way people shop, what draws them to products, you know, packaging versus results. When do they care? When don't they care? And I realized like skincare, just like we all have skincare needs and different relationships with skincare, but the industry just wasn't speaking to us. Like, and I was paying attention. Like I was shopping at the time. I was a buyer, and we just didn't have products for our main skincare concerns. There were a few men's lines like Beveled and etc., but nothing that really, especially nothing that centered women, women of color, Black women. And so I realized, like, based on my own like acne, dark spots, and all of the things that my skin allows me to focus group, and then what the customers were coming in talking about, like there just was so much opportunity and like just so much that our customer deserves that just wasn't there. So that space, that store pushed me to create a product line.
So you shut the store down, right? And then you
I
went.
did. I did. I made the decision. We first went digital because initially my thought was, I mean, digital was a really successful part of our boutique because we were getting press, national press, etc. We were on social media and all of the things. So we went digital at first, and I had to make the decision of whether or not the skincare line would be an extension of the store or if it would be something different. But I realized that I just wanted to speak to the brands versus what, you know, you do when you own a store, which is speak to everything. You know, you're like, oh, Bossy's amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. And I just realized like that I wanted to speak to this brand that I had been like working on in the background.
I think one of the takeaways for me as we go through in this discussion is that the entrepreneurial journey can be very fluid, right? You started as a lawyer, and then you had a very personal relationship with hyperpigmentation and acne, and then you started a retail business that
exactly,
right? And then through that process, you know, really understood pain points and then moved on to a brand. So I love your journey where we've talked about so far, because I always love to demystify also the entrepreneurial journey, that people don't just wake up, have this amazing idea and make a billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
I mean, some people may be lucky, but most people, you know, ebbs and flows,
Yeah.
Mistakes
And that's important because when we launched Hyper, which was a couple of years after closing my boutique, I think people were like, oh, you guys just launched with a splash, like an overnight hit. And I was like, no. We launched with
about that.
Yeah, basically we launched, and because we had this boutique and it was something that spoke to what many people felt was needed. We didn't have the community we have today, but we had a small community online. We had relationships with editors, and you know, my boutique was self-funded, so it wasn't a relationship with editors because we had this like shiny PR agency. it was like relationships with editors that appreciated what we were building, you know, like, and so we were able to like cultivate those relationships to speak to Hyperskin. So those were the first people that tried our new product, wrote about our new product. I was our PR person for the first year, for example. Like, people were like, you get press all the time. Like, who is your person? And it's like, it's me. Like, it's me. Yeah. There was no overnight sensation, but you know, having a business for 3 years and maintaining those relationships, and then sort of speaking to the same community with a product as opposed to a retail business, allowed for that to like extend and grow. And so, yeah, I always just like to highlight that, like there's no overnight success. And then to some extent, you know, you're starting from scratch because you're learning so many things on the brand side that weren't relevant on the retailer side. You know, how to get products across the globe, for example, and a global pandemic, no less. Like, there were so many lessons and like relationships that, you know, had to be cultivated in the new business. But I do think that we launched at least to an audience and to a community because of my past business, which, you know, was a good thing.
Yeah. So I think not only is that your benefit, but I think it's really important for people to understand that, you know, if you come to the Hyperskin journey fairly recently, you'll just think, oh my God, she just came out of nowhere and just up, right? But what you're saying, this was a long journey, and this you develop relationships, and a very important part, developing community. You had already developed a community, and that's the community that you leveraged when you had this new brand.
Exactly. I couldn't say it better. That was the community that was there initially and like really championing this new product and really understood it. And I knew they would because they inspired the brand after all. And when I say they inspired the brand, I don't just mean like customers came in with dark spots, so we created something for dark spots. I mean, I paid attention to, okay, customers, and this is your lane. What makes someone buy a red lipstick versus how much thought goes into someone buying a serum? Because they're very different processes, right? Like, you might swipe a beautiful, like the shade you're wearing, and leave the store with it. But you come in for a serum, then you want to look at the reviews. You want before and afters. You want to know, does it work on my skin tone? What is it? Vitamin C, but is it for dark spots or is it for blah, blah, blah. And so it really inspired like how we named the products, the language we use on the website, on the packaging, how direct it is. Like, it's like our brand is a very like, it's direct. It's like your friend that has no filter. She's like, itchy dark spots, you know? And that is one of the key lessons I got from being in the store and speaking to people about skincare, because skincare is so confusing and so like flooded and you know, there's so many ingredients and there's a lot of confusion to it. So like those interactions colored just like how I thought and positioned the brand overall.
So, I mean, you have done such a brilliant job in brand positioning, I think, so much so that not only do you have a cult following, obviously these beauty editors, even if you had these relationships before, if you released a shitty product, you know, nobody would care.
Yeah, no one's writing about a crappy product. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Focused on product excellence, which we'll talk about, but I also want to talk about that other part of how you then had the product excellence, but then created, you know, this community that just soldiers for you, so much so that you are now in Sephora.
Yes. Community is a big part of getting into retailers like Sephora. I always like online, I'm like, and I want to thank you guys. And it's so real. Like, you know, when brands like Sephora and even smaller retailers like Urban Outfitters were in, you know, some smaller niche retailers as well, they look at like your product and what it does and who it's speaking to, but they want to know that you can bring some people with you. Like, they're going to send you their people, but they want to know that you're bringing people to the retailer and to your brand. And so you don't have to have a huge community. It, you know, doesn't have to be the biggest number. but it does have to be real and committed and engaged. And so I do realize with talking to multiple retailers that that's something they're all like paying attention to. Who is your community? How engaged are they? Are they going to like leave your website and come here if you tell them to, if you suggest that they should? So yeah, community is everything. Yeah.
What's been the hardest part of this journey so far? Because you're a mom, I understand. You're a wife,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you're a friend, and you're a boss. So
Yeah, the whole journey. I mean, it's a lot. I think we launched a couple of months before a pandemic. So I don't think I have to tell anyone who's tuned in now, like how hard it has been to like work from home, hire a team, people that I've never met face to face. I mean, now I have, but you know, in the hiring process, people that I've had to trust to like work from their cities while I'm working from mine. So I think that there have been a lot of challenges specific to the times we're in. Time is always, I mean, there's never enough time in the day to be a founder. And I think there's never enough time in the day to be a mom. So I won't even, that's a whole conversation. So many articles written about managing that process. I have no tips on that process. I have no insights. I'm just like trying to figure it out. So I will not even get into that. But yeah, I do have two little ones, a 2.5-year-old and a 5-year-old. So, so that balance is real. A lot of things. I think sometimes trying to keep up with the Joneses and then like sort of remember like who you are and where you are and why, that can be really challenging, especially being in a retailer like Sephora. It's very easy, and I'm sure that's true for all of our careers, to look around and say, oh wow, they launched a new product, or oh, look at that campaign, or you know, we're a small self-funded brand. And so I think the challenges of being self-funded, the challenges of looking at what others are doing and remembering, okay, wait, this is why I'm here. This is who I'm speaking to. Yeah. That's always a challenge, you know, kind of really staying in your lane and being true to who you are. There's no challenge with being true to who you are, but I do think that there's always like a desire to do more or to like level up.
We're human, right?
You're human, yeah.
Type A humans. I go through that all the time where I have to remind myself to put my blinders on.
Yeah.
Look at what everybody else is doing and you know, just like getting confused. Like stay focused on your own execution plan.
Exactly.
Now, a lot of our talks have talked around financing.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about being self-funded, which I'm surprised to hear for such an iconic cult brand. Are you bootstrapped by choice, or where are you on that?
That's a good question. I think I'm in the decision-making process right now, and I say that to say we have been in the position to talk to retailers, and so we'll see where it lands. But I will also say, when you hear talks, and you know, I don't have to tell you, but it's hard to raise money in the beauty space because it's crowded. It's hard to raise money as a Black woman. And it's very hard to raise money when your brand is specifically focused and like centering people of color and Black folks. Like, I think investors, the numbers speak for themselves, but you still find yourself proving A, your numbers, and B, the market.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate. But it has made me take a step back from fundraising because it's very hard for me to find myself with like what we built with what we have. Still like pitching it at the level that I have to pitch. So I actually took a step back from fundraising. I taken a slight stab at it last year, and I might go back into it again. We've been able to like reinvest revenue that we've had, but it's always in the back of my mind, and that comes back to what we just said. You know, this space is expensive to be in. Sephora is expensive to be in. You know, you're sampling and you're gifting, and that's all expected, and you know, you're launching newness, and even though
it's free, right? I didn't expect how much was expected to be free.
A lot is expected to be free, exactly. And so all of that makes it very expensive, and you realize why you see far fewer bootstrapped by choice businesses. So yeah, we're definitely like in a decision-making place right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, that's interesting to hear. I think everybody that I speak to on this Bossy Chats, I ask about fundraising.
Yeah, it's
So,
such an important topic. And it's such a challenging process. And people are talking about it, but I think there still isn't like the raw conversation around it until you, like when we had our one-on-one, I think that's when it gets raw, but it's a challenging process. And I had to literally, I was like, I think I'm good right now. I think I don't need you right now.
I know,
But at the same time,
it can be demoralizing, right?
yeah,
Especially are building an amazing brand, right? And
yeah,
you have the numbers, you have the community
exactly.
still, and other people are getting funded on an idea,
On an
right?
idea, on a app. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, we're in Sephora. These are our numbers. We built this on one product. What this
Why
is our
are we
community. Yeah, this is our team, the dopest women ever. And I don't know, like cut the check.
I
so,
know, I
so
know that
yeah, it's
have to pay,
difficult.
right? But that's what happens.
Yeah. Someone said, yeah, Sephora culture is all about gratis. Yeah. I mean, we're not in store yet. We're online, but even online, there's a lot of sampling, and I'm a Sephora customer, and that's why it was a very natural extension to be a Sephora brand. But yeah, you expect samples. You expect to be able to try these deluxe products. You expect kit options, at holiday time, summertime. And what you realize is a lot of brands are losing a lot of money to do that with the hopes that this allows you to try their product.
Well, what I think
Yeah.
is amazing about yours, that because you already come with folks who love the product,
Yes, that's
it
been
makes it much
helpful.
easier for you to make a decision whether you want to sample or not. But I want to ask you a question about your new product. Do you mind if we talk about that?
Let's talk about it. I'm excited to talk about it.
It, but I feel like that's been your staple product, and now you have this new product. And I subscribed to your email, got the email of all the 5-star reviews coming through. But a little bit about that, the journey to that.
Yeah. So, I'm so excited about this product because this is actually the first product I created. And we launched with the serum because the serum was like my friends were literally like, you got more of that serum? Like my serum, like my friends that tested, and I guess my community, because it was beyond my friends. It was like a short list of women that tested the serum. But I actually tried mandelic acid while still in the store that I owned. And at the time I was going through this crazy like hormonal acne period. And that ingredient, I like literally can't shut up about it. I love mandelic acid. It's an exfoliant, but it also is very calming for inflammatory like problems like cystic acne, razor bumps, etc. And because it's more gentle, I feel like you kind of have to sell gentle these days because people are expecting like overnight and they kind of want to tingle and want to burn. But because it's more gentle, I think people will keep it in their routines longer. But it's also less likely to like hyperpigment your skin because what you see is a lot of black and brown folks are like will use something that's too strong and like have hyperpigmentation basically like a slight chemical burn. And so just a really great ingredient. And I found it, fell for it, created what not is the mask today, but the first version of this mask we've gone through like a dozen since. But yeah, really excited for it to be in the world. It has glycolic acid as well, so balances it with something with a punch that also exfoliates, gets rid of dead skin cells. So your skin is super soft afterwards. I think you have like flawless skin, but I have like kind of textured like on my forehead and she had to leave all the way in to show me that one.
Thank you.
But yeah, if you deal with texture, it's really great at just kind of smoothing your texture and also gives you the glow. And over time, you'll notice like a fading of dark spots. So it really complements the serum well in terms of if you're trying to create a healthy routine to tackle hyperpigmentation, exfoliating, and then treating. So I'm excited for it to be in the world. Like really excited to see what people have to think about, like say about it. Yeah. I feel like our first product was a hit, and so now I'm like, please love it, please like it.
So it's a product that stands alone on its own, but it's
yes,
a product
definitely.
I want people to use together with the serum. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think some people will use it alone. Like we all have different levels of everything, and so not everyone is everyone's only focus is hyperpigmentation. You might be trying to just like have a smoother, brighter complexion. You might be dealing with like small like bumps on your forehead or something like that. And in that case, get the mask. But of course, if you're tackling like stubborn dark spots, then let's like have a really like thoughtful combination of treatment products. So that's what we were thinking about. We also see customers and like what they're combining and how aggressive they're being. And we were like, we need to create something to balance that.
I love acids. Yes.
Yes, a good cocktail, a healthy, thoughtful cocktail. We do too. We really love like hardworking, sort of multitasking products. And so, but you know, we also want to balance that with not overdoing it. And so I think that these products kind of do that very well.
So tell me, what's the future for this brand? Where do you want to take it? Like, if I said in 5 years, where is Hyper Skin? Tell me.
I want Hyper to be I want it to be the brand that you think about when you have a problem that you want to target for all folks. But I especially want people of color to know that this is the brand that they can trust, because they were censored and thought of in a way that other brands, hopefully they are, but haven't historically. I want customers to know like it's a beautiful brand, it's a fun brand, but the products work. So yeah, I think, you know, we will extend beyond hyperpigmentation. There's so many concerns that I'm excited to address.
More products coming.
Yeah, but thoughtfully, slowly, intentionally. But yes, definitely more products coming. And so I just want people to know, and globally, people globally to know that this is the brand that has effective, thoughtful solutions for this thing I'm dealing with. Yeah.
So if I ask you what your biggest mistake you think you made in this journey, what would that be?
Ooh, my biggest mistake. I make so many mistakes every day. But I think sometimes like not hiring soon enough, not admitting when you need help. And some of that is based on thinking you know more than you know, and some of it is based on being self-funded and not wanting to like misuse resources. But I think like having the right people on Team Hyper has been everything. And the times I regret most are when I don't like move fast enough to say, I need help here. I'm not doing this well. This is not my strength. And if I have the resources, like I need to bring someone to fill this position. So yeah, I think, you know, there's only so much you can do on your own if you're trying to scale. And yeah, people, I need more people.
We all do.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite questions I ask as we wrap up is, you know, the core philosophy of Bossy Cosmetics is igniting confidence in ambitious women.
Okay, I love that.
And if by you as an ambitious woman, how do you manage your confidence levels? Because my philosophy is if you're not confident, it's going to affect how you show up, right? Mm-hmm. And so obviously you need the technical skills, you need the product, you need all that stuff, but you also have that confidence to take you to the next level. How do you keep your confidence level up?
Oh my gosh, I don't know that I've ever been asked this question. I do think I'm a confident person. I think I am, I'm certainly optimistic. Maybe because I'm a Sagittarius, I always feel like things will work out, and that's been my experience. I don't know where the confidence comes from. I mean, I guess it's been spoken into me over the years, and now I speak it into myself. I also am aware, especially, and you know, we talked about how, for example, demoralizing fundraising can be. And there's so many conversations that can feel like that. You know, speaking to retailers, there's so many no's in this process.
Yes.
Like people see on social media, they see the yeses, but there are so many no's. And I just always have to like remind myself, like, you belong in this room. Like imposter syndrome, no, I don't believe in that. I believe there are so many people that try to convince us, especially as women, especially as Black women, especially as small businesses, that like this room is not for you, this industry is not for you, this lane is not for you, and that doesn't apply. But it doesn't apply to me. I don't know. I guess you just like the confidence comes from within. I think it's from you know, maybe a healthy childhood. Well, in some ways. And I try to remember that as a parent as well. You know, it starts from a young age, feeling like every room that you step in, you belong in. Every venture that you take on is yours. Because on this journey, there will be so many people that are like, you know, who are you and why are you here?
Who are you? Why? Why do you think you can do it?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're better than ABC or XYZ?
Thank
And
you.
that's the perfect way to end this chat. Thank you so much for making
Thank
the
you.
time.
Thank you for that question. I'm like, I'll probably like take a shower later and come up with some really profound answer for it. But that's the first time I've been asked that question. So
yeah. I think it's so important. It is literally at the core of our philosophy as a brand is how do we make sure and help women to consistently keep their confidence levels up, because society, life, business are always telling us that we don't belong or that we're not. So for us, confidence building is the hack.
Yeah, it is. I love that. I love that so much. That was like a great, I feel like I need to like ask some of my girlfriends that question because now I want to hear more responses to it.
Go ahead.
Can only help me. But no, this was so cool. This was a great conversation.
Thank you so much for making the time. Congratulations on your latest launch.
Thank you. And congrats to you. I mean, you're asking all the questions, so I didn't get to say it, but your brand is stunning and moves so many women, and your products are amazing, and I use them. I'm not really the best model now because I applied makeup earlier and then just have been Zooming, but you know, everything that you're pouring into everyone else about the brands they're building, you are doing yourself, and it's really great to have, you know, people in the industry that are, you know, you can feed off of and build with and look over and see they're thriving because, you know, that's the goal. So thanks for having me and thanks for being there when, you know, a founder chat is needed.
Same to you. Have a wonderful Friday and a brilliant weekend. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for